What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for listening. I wanted to put this in the top of the show. Make sure you subscribe on Patreon, patreon.com/Brennan Tassif. Check out the merch store at brennantcomedy.com to get your ex-drinking buddy merch. Subscribe, rate, and review wherever you listen to podcasts. As always, we're coming to you live from Gotham Production Studios, and I hope you enjoy the episode.
Grab me your beer and grab me a coke. We bout to sit for an hour, bullshit and tell jokes. And please don't mix it up, cause he done sobered up. Brennan T Comedy on your social media feeds. And Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. I am your host, Brennan Tassif. If you're new to the program, quick rundown of the show. I used to be everyone's favorite drinking buddy. It was my favorite thing to do, hang out with friends, get drunk, do drugs, get in all sorts of trouble, and then reminisce about those crazy stories. I am sober now, but that is still one of my favorite things to do, hang out with someone and reminisce about the crazy old days. Most weeks I'll be joined by guests. This week is no exception. The return of the Hell Yeah comedy boy himself, Mr. Cody Lewis.
It's good to be back.
You're back, baby.
Yeah.
First time we did this was in an apartment.
Yeah.
When I had just moved here. And now, look at us now.
You moved up. Also, that was the first time I've ever done a podcast.
Yeah, that was your first podcast. We talked about that.
And now I've done 4.
You've done 4?
Good.
Which ones? Fucking spell them out for me. Better not be on the apps because I've been trying to get on that one for months.
I did on the apps.
I know you did.
Yeah. Well, actually, I actually was part of one, and we had I was an addition to the podcast, and I had 5 episodes, and then that one ended. So
what was that?
That was Master Daters with Chris Kimback and El Orlando. So
why did you stop doing it?
We kind of took a break, and then just things
just never
happened. Yeah. And none of us are dating, so what are we doing?
Well, plug everything up front. You have the show, the Hell Yeah show, and then your social media. Let everybody know where they can find you.
Yeah, so I run a show called Hell Yeah Comedy. Last time was Mike, so we've moved up in the world.
Yeah.
So we do that. Right now we're doing that once a month.
Okay.
It's usually in Chelsea, but tonight we have one in Lower East Side.
You still doing it at Citizens?
Yeah.
Okay.
And tonight we have one with Joe Glatt, Tori Cole.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so we
friend of the show. She's been on twice.
Oh shit, she's been on twice before. I went on twice.
Yeah,
that's fine. And she's also sober. I got stories that happened last night. What she got for you? You know what I mean? What the fuck, dude? But okay. I'm joking.
Shots fired, Tori Cole.
Tori knows I love her. Whatever, I can't remember what I was talking about. But then Instagram, Cody Lewis Comedy. I post every once in a while, and that's about it. That's what I got going.
Beautiful. Well, I wanted you got the whole fucking LA Cholo vibe going on today.
Yeah.
You're from California?
Yeah, San Luis Obispo.
Did we not talk about this last time?
I don't remember.
Because you came in with the LA hat, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And you're like, "Yeah, I'm from California."
Yeah, but I'm 4 hours north of LA, but I always
you got to button the top button.
I do, and then some people don't do that, and then I do the accent, and they get mad.
Do the accent.
Am I allowed to do the accent?
You can do whatever you want.
Yo, I'm out here in New York City, and yo, that's so racist. I fucking can you erase that?
This is a whole different side of you, Cody Lewis.
Yeah,
I know you as the timid boy staring out of your peephole for the girl you used to date, and now you're like, amen.
And now I'm just full blown racist.
Fuck off, dude. Love it. I fucking love it, man.
Yeah, here I am.
And you got fucking showing the tattoos. We've got a new Cody Lewis on, ladies and gentlemen. He's a far cry from where he was.
I'm horny too, so what's up? Is anyone else horny? No. Okay.
So let's get...
What? Oh, good time.
So the last time we were talking to you, last time you were on, Hell Yeah was you guys were doing mics at Cellar 77.
Yes.
You had just kind of started rolling with the Citizen show, the shows at Citizens. I think it was at Citizens of Soho, but you kind of, it's a chain.
Yeah.
They've got a few in the city, and then you kind of bounce around. You know the owner?
Yeah, I used to work there.
Which is so ironic because he's Australian.
Yeah.
So you would think it would be your cohort, Julian.
Oh, right.
Because he's Australian.
Yeah, that makes sense. I
Yeah.
never even thought about that. but
Yeah. Well, I
There's so
just
many
remember the first time I
Australians.
went in there, I heard his accent, and I go, "Oh, he obviously knows Julian."
Right.
And you go, "Oh no, he knows me." I was like, "Oh, that's weird."
Yeah, I worked there like way too long doing like latte art and shit.
Yeah. Now they use you. They let you use their space.
Yeah, which is dope because it's a cafe during the day and then they close down. So no, this show's just
It's just us.
Just-
yeah.
just
There's no
an
ambush
audience.
comedy, which is awesome. It's like an
Exactly.
actual show.
right.
And so, the last time we talked, you obviously that has moved into like a full blown like monthly show, like a showcase show that you do now.
Yep.
What else do you have going on as far as like comedy? You're over at Broadway,
Yeah. So I'm at Broadway quite a bit. I host there a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm still there Saturday nights. I intern, as they call it. I seat people and I get spots on the show.
Okay.
Yeah, professional comedian over here. so I do that, and then I'm at Greenwich sometimes, and then just when people give me spots.
Yeah.
in the city.
That's fucking awesome, man. You're doing
Sometimes.
it. You're
Yeah.
playing the game. Did
Yeah.
Billy tell you we ran into each other?
No,
He didn't tell you?
where?
This was like the coolest story ever.
Let's hear it.
At Joe List, friend of the show, his special
He did
taping.
tell me that.
Oh God, I was gonna say
You sat with him, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was totally happenstance though. So for those of you listening, go back. There's Billy Hockman and then Julian Betta. How do you pronounce
Brainy.
Brainy. I always want to say Bahraini.
Brahaney.
Brahaney.
I could be wrong. I've heard him say it 2 different ways.
You guys all do the Hell Yeah comedy together.
Yeah.
And that's how we met, was at the mics actually. And then I had you guys all on early in the show's incarnation back when we were doing it at the apartment.
Yes.
And yeah, so I go to Joe List's special. I completely forgot about it. I didn't forget I bought a ticket. I just forgot what the date was. And I was going to leave work and I checked my email and it was like, don't forget tonight. Like, you know, an email from the seller.
Yeah.
And I go there and fucking, who do they sit me right across from? But Billy fucking
Oh, that
Hoffman.
was by chance you said.
It was
right?
by chance. Totally an accident. That's why I was like so blown away by it.
Oh, that was I got those tickets and then I couldn't go.
Oh,
So then
okay.
Billy went by himself. So that.
Oh, so it was supposed to be two of you?
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been.
Oops. I also had 2 other tickets because I thought I would be like take a group and then
Yeah.
I couldn't even go. So whatever. Who cares?
Probably the coolest experience from that not only was watching Joe do's special, but we sat at like a table like off to the back. Excuse me. So right behind us there's no green room at the cellar at Underground. So there's just like a standing table, and that's where all like the little hors d'oeuvres and waters and stuff. That's where Joe is with his wife Sarah, and then fucking in comes Louie, because him and Joe are friends,
Right.
And so we're literally like that close to like Louie and Joe and everybody. And I know Joe, so like I waved and he was like, "Hey man, what's up?" And I was like, I could leave right now. Like
Yeah.
that's all I wanted
That's fucking
was just
sick.
the recognition.
Yo, do you know what's cool? When we our last show at Citizens, the Hell Yeah show, we had Joe List's wife on, Sarah.
Yeah.
How do you say her last name?
Sarah, yeah.
Sarah. Fuck, you're supposed to save me on that one. Anyway, she was on our show, and then
Machi.
Joe rolled up, and we're like, "Do you want to do time?" And so he did our show.
I saw that. Yeah,
Which
you
is
guys
so
posted
dope.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I mean we talk about it all the time. That's why I love living in New York. I got to watch Louis yell at someone.
Go on. Who do you yell at?
Well, I'm not. We won't get into the specifics, but the show was supposed to start at 10.
Right.
And then like 10:15 comes, show's not started. I was able to like order food, get the food, and eat the food, and the show still hadn't started. And me and Billy are looking at each other because obviously, you know, we're not at that level, but we're in comedy. Like we do enough comedy where we're like, they gotta like start. Like people are getting anxious, like
Right.
restless. Like they gotta fucking start. And we're like looking at each other, like, don't they have to start this? And so Louis this is Louis C.K., ladies and gentlemen, for those of you listening. Louis sitting like next to Sarah and Joe. And at one point, this is like 30 minutes in, at one point, we're like just kind of staring at him because we're like, that's fucking Louis C.K. He looks at his watch, and then I see him go, me and Billy watch him go like, what the fuck? Like to Joe, he's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what? And then we see him walk over to somebody who's like, I guess one of the producers. And I see him just going like, what the fuck is going on? He's like banging on his watch and stuff. Literally within 10 seconds, the show started.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, that's fucking power, man.
Right.
He was just like, no, we're starting now. Okay. We're going
Yeah.
to start now.
Dang, that sucks. For
Yeah.
The guy who got yelled at.
Well, it was just so cool to watch though, because you're like,
Yeah.
and we're in it, like we're right there. I mean,
Right.
we're not there, but we're there.
You were
know,
there. That counts.
yeah.
You hung
I mean,
out
he's
with
done
him.
your show. Like he's your guys' friend.
Yeah. Dude, you know what's funny? Billy and I were talking to him, and then I think we like kind of overwhelmed this Joe List who we're talking to. And he looked ready to get out of that conversation so fast. Like he was like freaked out, and then he saw another comic. He's like, "Oh, there he is. Got to go say hi." And he left us, and we're just like, we fanboyed a little too hard, I think.
Well, you know my story about the Dan Soder incident.
No, maybe.
Yeah, you've heard it before, and the listeners are probably sick of hearing it. But my very best friend in the whole world, been on the show a bunch, Marcus Crespo. When I first got back into comedy, I had no business featuring. I took like 3 years off, and I was just getting sober and coming back. And he brought me out on the road with him to feature when I had no business doing that. And so he really saved my life, saved my career, the whole thing.
How long did you do as a feature?
I was featuring for him just until I moved to New York.
Oh, I mean, how long were your sets?
Like 20 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was going to say 7.
No,
that's not a real feature spot. Actually, that's just an opener spot.
No, I keep hearing features like different times, and I just like don't know.
Oh no, a feature set's like 20 to 22.
Okay,
yeah,
got it.
I mean that's because the feature does 22, the host does 7, and then the headliner does an hour. So the show is an hour and a half.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
But Marcus opened or hosted the show for Soder at the Orlando Improv. And Marcus calls me and he goes, dude, he's one of us. Like super down to earth, loves wrestling. Because, I grew up in Florida. We like pro wrestling. And I'm super obsessed. You know this. I'm obsessed with comedy. Like I'm very pretentious. Like I treat it like an art form. I'm the worst kind of fucking person. And and obviously Dan's not like that. But Marcus was like, he loves comedy as much as you love, like the actual stand up itself. He's like, he loves it like you do. He's like, you guys would get along great. He goes, I think you guys would really be good friends. Like he's just like he's like us, man. He's like us. And which is exciting when you see a comic at that level still be like fucking cool to hang. And I got so excited that I would literally go on the Stand's website and be like, when's Dan performing next? And then this is like 2 months into living in New York. So I just got here.
Right.
And I show up to the Stand and Soder walks in and goes straight for the bathroom. And I stand outside the bathroom door, and as soon as he walks out, and I go, Dan! And he's like, whoa. And I go, my very best friend in the whole world, Marcus, just opened for you. He was hosting your show in Orlando. You know when you were just in Orlando? And he's like, what? And I go, well, in Orlando, at the Orlando Improv, Marcus Crespo. And he goes, oh yeah, I love Marcus. He was a great guy. And I go, yeah, he's like my best friend. And he said like, I should come introduce myself to you. And he was like, okay, and just walked away. And I was like, oh my God, what the fuck is wrong with me?
I got secondhand embarrassment just listening. That's brutal.
Well, now you know what it feels like with the Joe List situation.
Yeah, no, but and I always think I'm like, oh, celebrities, I don't care. Like, I'm not going to, like.
Yeah.
But then one time we're actually working at Citizens, and a fucking soccer player came in on, like, the New York team, NYCFC, hell yeah. But,
oh, you're a big soccer fan.
Yeah. But
shouts out.
MLS, who everyone's like, you just follow the MLS, and yeah, I do, because it's local. Anyway, and then I got like starstruck from this guy who like fucking barely anyone.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, if I saw like a real celebrity, I would fucking shit my pants.
Well, you'd think that, but working at the steakhouse that I work at, we have celebrities that are regulars, and you just kind of, they're normal people. Like they're like obviously. We get excited and we'll say, like, I always go, like, we have certain celebrities that come in and I will make an effort to, like, go to their table, whether I'm waiting on them or not. How's everything going? Oh, my God, it's so good to see you. So happy you're here. And we'll do that when they come in. And we do that with a celebrity or not. We do that with our regulars. But there are certain people that come in that you don't realize how starstruck you'll get until you're looking at them.
Yeah.
Like Charles Barkley came in. And I wait on celebrities all the time. No, Sir Charles Barkley, the basketball player.
Right.
But I'm a huge sports fan, especially I like football is my number 1, but basketball is my number 2. And so Charles Barkley comes in, and I go, "Is that fucking Chuck? Like, what is happening?" Like, and I freaked out. But then I've also waited on Channing Tatum and been like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" Like,
I hear he's like the nicest guy, Channing Tatum.
He's super sweet. I do the bit on stage, but I invited him to a show.
Yeah.
Like a fucking idiot.
Did he? He didn't come.
No.
I don't know. Maybe he's bored that night.
As a server, you can get very good at steering the conversation. So I had mentioned, we were talking about like New York or something, just in like, as I'm like serving them their food. I was like, oh, how do you guys like New York? And they go, oh, we love it. We love living here. And I go, yeah, I just moved here. Because, the trigger questions to ask.
Classic.
Oh my God, you just moved here? What brought you to New York? Oh, I do. I moved here for stand-up. I'm a comic. And they go, comedy? We love comedy. And I was like, oh yeah, like you guys should totally come to a show.
That seems natural though. It's not like you like.
Yeah, of
were
course.
fucking weird. It wasn't like you Dan Soldered that situation. You handled it.
I handled that one.
Who's his wife? Is Zoe?
Not his wife. His girlfriend at the time was Zoe Kravitz.
So you saw her?
Yeah, they were on a date.
Right. Was she hot?
To say she's hot is to say the sun is warm.
Oh, but the sun's hot though. So
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm turned on right now.
Let's get into it.
Wait, can I just say real quick?
Yeah.
Does this bother you that your face is next to your face?
No, I kind of don't even notice it anymore.
Okay.
But now that you've brought it up, it's going to bother me.
Yeah.
I want to get a new one, but
It's just so much of you.
I know, right? That's what the audience. That's what they pay for on the Patreon,
baby.
Check out the OnlyFans. Just kidding. I did the OnlyFans. No, I didn't do it, but I was subscribing to like some Instagram models and stuff.
Love it.
Love it. And I didn't realize, but when you go to create an account, like you have to create like an account. So randomly, I'll just get people who will follow me on there.
On
OnlyFans, but I don't have any content, but they'll just follow me.
Because of this, or
I'm not sure because it's Brennan T Comedy like it is for everything else. So I don't
OnlyFans.
I don't know if they
You didn't try and hide your identity on there.
Oh, I don't give a shit.
Yo, do you know?
Do you know what I talk about on the show?
Right, that's true. But do you know what's funny is there's Instagram girls who I'm like, I want to see their OnlyFans.
Yeah.
But people always just take their nudie stuff and just put it on Google.
Do they really?
Yeah. There's like a few of them I was like, I need this.
Yeah.
OnlyFans, and I Googled it, and she's right there. Yeah. Just a little fun fact for any perverts out there. And fucking.
Well, is it? I don't think we're the right people to have this discussion, but is it perverted now?
No.
I mean, it's such a kind of a mainstay. It's just what people like. For case in point, I had an experience where I discovered basically an OnlyFans of someone I used to date, and I was like freaked out about it. But then at the same time, it's like, oh no, I mean, like I guess everyone does it because I talked about it with like other comics, and I talked about it like on stage, and people like I didn't get the reaction I was hoping for, so I had to change some of the language to make it sound like worse than it was, just to get the reaction,
right,
to make it funny. But the true story, like I would tell people, and they go, "Yeah, I'm confused about what the big deal is."
Right. Was she like fully nude?
Yeah, and I was just like, "But she's like naked on the internet." And they go, "Who cares?"
Everyone is naked.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, I guess this isn't a deal."
Right. I guess so. I mean, I don't know. I personally, I'm insecure, so I would.
Yeah, me too.
I would feel weird about that, but. Yeah, I don't know. It's also New York. I feel like
that's the thing. It's like people in New York are just like, we're all naked on the internet.
Yeah, right.
Like, we all live on top of each other. We're all naked all the time.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you because you said you got some new stories. I ran into you at the stand one night, and you were like, "Dude, I've got some crazy new stories."
I think I was just trying to get back on the pod.
Well, you're here now, so let's talk about it.
What I still drank heavily. So
now, are you drinking on occasion, or are you drinking every day? Like, what's going on?
No, I will not drink at all through the week.
Yeah.
And when I drink, I go hard.
Because are you doing comedy just now full time, or are you?
No, I like run my family's Airbnbs in California.
Okay.
And then also work at a coffee shop.
Oh, do you? Wow.
Yeah.
So you got a lot going on.
Yeah.
So you don't drink during the week, but now on weekends you're getting after it.
Yeah,
'Cause
I mean,
the last time you were here, you told a story about like passing out in the street, and I think that was the clip. Was the girl came down from her apartment and you were just like passed out outside? Yeah. And she's like, "What are you doing?"
And I was like covered in vomit.
Yeah.
Dude, she listened to that podcast and she like apologized again 4 years later.
Really?
Yeah,
she was like, "I'm sorry, I left
I'm
you
like,
out there."
I was like, it's funny now. I don't care, whatever. But
and then you also talked about faking paralyzed so the bouncers would leave you alone. Do you remember telling that story?
Oh yeah, of course. Actually, today I was like I'm gonna try and make that a bit.
Yeah,
as a story.
That's
like,
what you said
on stage. Yeah,
a year and a half ago when you first came on the podcast.
I don't follow through on much. Okay, fuck you.
You were like, I need to. We were talking about it because I told you the story that I have that I've turned into a bit about me faking paralyzed.
Yeah, right.
And then you were like, "Oh, I didn't even think to turn that into a bit. I should turn that into a bit," and you still haven't.
I haven't even thought about it till this morning when I knew I was coming here. So I was like, I should try this as a bit.
Oh man! So what have you been up to lately as far as getting in trouble? Partying. We've got an hour to fill. So
I know. No, I'm trying to think. My mom and I got tattoos. We got hammered in Baltimore.
When was this?
This was like in April, and So we
This is the same mother that thinks you're gay?
yeah, who also came out to me as bisexual, by the way. Shout out to mom, scissoring out there doing her thing. Okay, don't listen, dude. I also said my mom was bisexual on a.
Is that's the new tattoo?
No, this is like one I paid money for. The other one,
Take it off. Let's see it. Yeah. Speaking of OnlyFans, we're gonna clip this. What drove you? Tell the story. What happened?
So my mom was.
Why were you in Baltimore?
My mom was like out in Virginia with her boyfriend, and they were. He had like some conference, so she had the day off, and so I was like, "I'll just meet you in Baltimore because it's halfway."
Take the train. Yeah.
Yeah. So then we're drinking, and we're like, "We should get a tattoo today."
Middle of the day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So 2 p.m. And so we're like calling tattoo places. We finally find a place, but the thing is, we didn't know what to get, so we're like trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
The story behind it.
Exclusive Patreon content. Cody Lewis getting naked.
Okay.
Scoot up. Make sure you're in the shot.
Can they see that?
Yeah, they can see
stick
it.
figure of a mom and her son
shopping.
Yeah.
Dude, that's actually really like poetic.
It's cute. It's cute because we were like deciding what. It's cute. We were deciding what to get, and we're like when she was little, she would always be like, "Oh, I'm going here, and I would always go.
When
with
you
her.
were little.
Yeah, when I was little, not when she was little.
That would be weird.
We were just both little. Never mind. Okay, I was gonna get weird about that. I love my mom. She also has fake tits. Shout out to okay. Am I kidding? No, I'm joking. Erase that. I'm trying. Can I say a joke I'm trying to do that I think?
Yeah,
so
go ahead.
So my mom got a boob job, and she told me it was a lift. She's like, it's just a lift, and you're not even gonna notice. And then I saw her for the first time with her lift, and I knew it wasn't a lift because the first thought out of my head was Bazunga Jambalaya. Which I think's the funniest joke of all time, and no audience has ever laughed at that joke.
Yeah, incest doesn't play too well.
No, but I'm just saying that was my brain thought. Bazunga Jambalaya is also just
Bazunga Jambalaya.
Anyway,
So that's the first thing you thought when you saw your mom's new boobs?
Bazunga Jambalaya, yeah. Isn't that something we
How do
all
you
think?
spell that? Because that's going to be the title of the episode.
Bazunga has a Z.
Bazunga
Jambalaya. It was Bazunga that my comic friend, do you know Kellen Breen?
No.
He's just one of my friends. I see him at Broadway. We're actually starting a podcast. Shout out. But
what's the name of it? Plug it.
Outstanding
this won't come out for a couple weeks. So
Outstanding Individuals.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be sick. We are 2 comics.
That'll be super cool. You could do that for like a month and a half and then quit that.
Yeah. Well, I didn't quit it. What did I quit? My show? I didn't quit anything. Wait, what did I quit?
No, you didn't quit.
Do people quit podcasts? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, all the time.
I figured. Oh, because I quit the other one.
Yeah, there you go. He put it together. And you expect audiences to just be right on with the Bazunga Jambalaya, and it took you 5 minutes.
I earned, I put at the end of my set so they trust me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You earned the trust?
Yeah. And then they're like, Bazunga Jambalaya.
Then you smash it with a hammer.
Yeah.
I was looking at my mom's tits. All right, see you guys later.
I didn't look at them. They were so big. It was also.
They were in your line of sight.
Yeah. They walked in the room 7 minutes before she did.
Hey!
I didn't stop looking at the camera. Okay. I mean, is it hot in here?
Just take that shirt back off.
So my mom and I, so we wanted to get a tattoo, and we're like, because I might want to 5 siblings, and my mom would, anytime she was going out to do something, she'd be like, does everyone want to go? And I always went with her.
Yeah.
And it was like the grocery store.
Your mama's
so I was
boy,
like,
yeah.
Let's do this. And
Comedy makes a lot more sense now.
yeah, yeah. And so we got the tattoos, but this was also funny because I had to catch a train, and we're like run out of time, and they have scooters all over Baltimore that you can rent. So we got on those. And I'm like, oh, GPS takes us this way. So we go through, and it's like the full-on like hood, like fucking
Baltimore.
Yeah, like The Wire. Like it looked like we're going through.
Be more careful.
Yeah, and we're going through, and people are literally yelling at us, like yelling at my mom, like, look at that ass. This is before the boobs. Otherwise, you know what they would have been.
The Bazunga Jambalaya.
Yeah, just everyone shouting that. But and my mom's like, the thing is the middle of the day, so like wasn't, and we were drunk, so like,
yeah, I was gonna say, and you're drunk.
Yeah, but my mom was like. Afterwards, like, I can't believe we fucking blah blah blah. That could have been so dangerous. I was like, whatever.
Could have been. It was.
Yeah. I mean, it was, but I feel like the daytime.
Yeah, it is a little different, and also, it is weird how Waze and just Google Maps and stuff. The GPS. This is a $1 billion idea, actually. Breaking news, but like they don't have like, hey, steer clear of this area.
if
Or
you're
like,
white,
hey, not even that, but just like high crime rate.
Yeah.
Like that would be interesting if Google Maps or something came out with a feature like almost merged with Citizen where you could see where high crime rates were, especially if you're doing walking directions or something.
Right.
Because there are certain, like you said, like especially in bigger cities, New York, Baltimore, Detroit, LA, Chicago, there are areas where you just should not go at night.
Yeah, for sure. I wonder if someone's come up with something.
That's a $1 billion idea.
But it also could be like problematic in a way, maybe, because they're like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, then you get into the whole like statistics versus stereotypes versus assumptions and that whole thing. But I'm just saying because like for you to be in a city you have no idea about, and then people are catcalling your mom. Like, this could get out of hand.
Right. And it's probably not the smartest thing.
I always get. I've heard stories people have told about getting mugged. And it's just, knock on wood, I have not gotten mugged yet. But I've discovered that New York and jail have the same social structure. As long as you look just crazy enough and you're pretty big, people just kind of leave you alone because they don't want the hassle. So I'm fortunate being 6'1", 230 pounds.
Right. Then why haven't I been picked off?
But that's what I was gonna say. Like you've been passed out fucking drunk on the subway. You've been passed out drunk in front of people's apartments, and you've never been robbed.
No, I mean I've been here 8 years, and there's only been like 2 moments when. It was like kind of felt seedy, and once
talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Once I was, because I lived in Ridgewood, and I was like 10 minutes from the train, so I'd take my.
Where was that?
Ridgewood.
Well, yeah, where is that?
Right next to Bushwick.
Okay.
It's like now it's like being gentrified. It's like a hip area, but I was like skateboarding back to my house, and there's some guys looking in cars. And I saw them like fucking, so I like just skated past them.
Just mind your business
as fast as I could. But then like a fucking idiot, I stood up like a few blocks and like was watching them, and then like pulled out my phone to call the police.
Are you sober or drunk at the time?
I'm fucking sober as a dog. Dude. And so then I'm like, and then
it seems like a drunk move to be like, wait a second, what are these guys doing?
And then just stand there with my phone out, like obviously this guy's doing something. So then the car fucking takes off, like turns around and comes. I think it was coming towards me, so I like took off down the street one way, and I get to my apartment, like run up on the roof, and I'm like looking for him.
Yeah.
And that's when I called the police. I'm like, these guys. So I don't know if they were coming towards me, but in that moment I was like fucking
actual fear, real fear.
Yeah. And then the other this in my current neighborhood, which actually doesn't feel sketchy at all in Williamsburg, but I was coming home from my friends at like 6 a.m. because I was banging. Yeah.
You were?
No, it's just my buddy. We were just drunk, and I was like looking down.
We're gonna get into your sexual exploits here soon.
Yeah. I got nothing.
I know. That's why I want to talk about
cool. I need help. But I was like, I look up and there's a man on the sidewalk, like a few feet from me.
This is 6 a.m.
Yeah.
In Bushwick.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, in Williamsburg. It's like 5.
Yeah.
It was dark out, and I was like, okay.
How long ago was this?
This was like a year ago.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, I can walk past him.
And you're drunk and you're just kind of like...
Or I can just cross the street and no big deal. And so I was like, so I crossed the street. And then as I come on the other sidewalk, there's another guy standing like there. And I was like, this is fucking sketchy. There's 2 men in the middle of the night and so I just ran into the middle street and just took off running.
Did you really?
Yeah, I just ran.
There is something to say about people in New York. This whole idea of trying to be polite or like portray this like sense of like, oh, common decency goes out the window when push comes to shove.
You're right.
Because I know Eric Walsh has this funny bit where he talks about sitting on a park bench, and like if someone sits down next to him, he feels like he has to sit there for 5 more minutes to not be rude. Yeah. It's hilarious, but it's a very real thing. I mean, that whole idea, especially as comics, we're neurotic and anxious. But in New York, I've noticed, and I've gotten better at this, only being here for like a year and a half. But like if someone's super fucking sketchy, or someone who just, is just, smells like really bad or anything like that, because that happens a lot on the subway. If they sit next to me, now I'll just like get up and walk to the other side of the train.
Yeah. See, I don't
fucking care.
The other day I was on the train with Kellen, and the sketchy guy like taught himself like sat by us. And we did that thing where like, do we get up? Because then we feel like he's going to say something because he knows.
Well, and that's also another thing too, is people will be like, you think you're fucking better than me? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for sure.
And there is a delicate balance. And I think it's super interesting because it's New York. So there's like crazy people like me, and then there's like regular families.
Yeah.
So if you're on the subway, like today, this morning coming here, I'm on the subway. There's a dad with his daughter. He's obviously taking her to school. He's like, we just have to go 2 stops. And then in the back of the car, someone comes in just yelling to himself, just screaming.
Right.
And in my head, I want to be like, oh, you're the coolest guy on the train, dude. Like, you got your fucking cool jacket on and you're yelling like you don't give a fuck. Like, good for you, bro. You're the coolest guy here. But obviously, that's what I thought.
Right,
but I didn't say that. But then he walks by the little girl and her dad. And those are the moments where I'm like, how is this interaction going to go?
Right.
Because it's like, what's the dad going to do?
Yeah.
Like, and the little girl's probably scared. And like the crazy guy, is he like cognizant enough to be like, oh, I'm scaring this little girl? Or maybe that's what he wants to do.
Right.
And we see that all day, every day in New York.
Yeah.
And it fascinates the fuck out of me.
I always think the dad, I wonder if he, because sometimes I look on the train, I look around, I'm like, if this guy is going to do something, are we going to be in this together?
Yeah.
Or is everyone
Who's with me?
Yeah, which I don't know what will happen. Or I don't know if maybe I'll be the first to run off the train. But I do. So I'm sure the dad's like looking around like, is someone going to help me?
If you would have caught eyes with me, I would have been like, yeah, I got you, Doug.
Yeah, I got
like,
you. Yeah.
We'll fuck this dude up. Let's talk about it, because this was I know you talk about this a lot in your set, and this was something we talked about last time you were on, but your dating life has been kind of fun.
Mine?
Yeah, yours.
I don't think I got anything. Did I tell you a story yet?
No. It's just it's always interesting because you've been single now for a while, right?
Ah, so long.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you getting at here? Okay, you think I'm gay? Is that? Yeah, I'm gay. What do you want? No, okay. No. So like, what's been going? So I'm recently single. The listeners know. Yeah.
Savannah and I broke up. And I've talked about it on here, but I got on the apps and stuff like that when we first broke up, and I used to fucking get so mad at you guys when you would talk about like, oh, the apps and this and that. I'm like, fucking come on, guys, like let's think of something else. And then I got on the apps and I was like, no wonder they talk about this all the time. Like it was then relatable to me, and it made so much more sense. Where I was like, oh, I would fucking do 25 minutes on the apps. Like, this is insane.
Right. There's so much on there.
And you've obviously been single for a little while. Oh, not obviously, but you've been single for a little while.
I think it's pretty obvious.
So like, what has been your experience? Because for me, like, I have this little like just throwaway line where I'm like, oh, crazy people can download the apps too. Like, there's no barrier to entry. Like, anyone can download it. And I've had some of those experiences. Like, you start talking to someone, then you go on a date and you go, oh, you are a liar. And you are a fucking deceiver.
And is that just like in physical appearance?
Well, both physical appearance and then just like something's off.
Right.
Because the first couple of dates I was going on, the women were a little older, and you go, oh, this makes sense now.
Oh, why they're single?
Why you're on an app?
I
mean, that's judgmental, but like late 30s.
Okay.
So not like. Nothing like
you mean the prime age?
Yeah, that's apparently what I hear. So what's been going on with you? How have you been? How's your luck been with the apps lately?
Dude, I feel like this is
an intervention.
Well, I'm on the apps, but I'm never proactive.
Okay.
I've only, to be honest, met up with one girl one time on the apps.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just hate them.
Yeah.
And I never put the time in, and then when I do decide, I'm like, oh, this girl, then something. She doesn't respond or like something.
So where have you been meeting people? Like just in real life?
Yeah, but I don't really meet people. Actually, the other night I was fucking hammered.
Yeah, let's get into it. Where were you at? Tell the story.
So it was St. Patty's Day. Me and my friend El Orlando, shout out. We went out drinking.
Huge comic, El Orlando.
Yeah, El
She
Orlando.
blew up.
Have you had her on here?
No, I tried to get her when I first moved here. I talked to her about it a couple times, and then she I haven't.
You could get her.
Well, I haven't been proactive. There's no disparagement or disrespect. I just haven't been proactive about it. And then, because it's one of those things where I've run into at your guys' show a few times.
Right.
And we got to talking, but it's very much like, I just moved here. I do comedy. Oh, cool. Like, yeah, obviously I'm a comic too. And it's just kind of like, oh, okay.
Right.
Like, especially Tori and I had this conversation because, Tori's young and attractive and is single.
Yeah.
And so.
Tori and I matched on the apps. Did she tell you that?
Yeah, she told me.
Yeah. On the podcast?
I don't know if it was on the podcast or not, but she did tell me that story. But like, it's one of those things where I don't want to come off as like a weird predator guy. So like, I just am kind of like, especially when it's like, I'm just kind of like, all right, cool. Like,
Yeah.
hands up, walk away. Like, I'm not trying to do anything creepy or weird. Like, just wanted to say hi.
Right.
So I always feel like DMing, especially female comics, is kind of seen as like maybe that's one step too far. Unless I know them well. Like Tori, I now know well, so I don't care. Or SB the same way. But when it's a comic I've only met like once or twice, I'm not about to be like
I get
sliding in their DMs.
I do feel like having the studio though.
It does help. That's the only reason Tori did the show the first time. I first moved here, met her at the very first open mic I did at Broadway, her and Jimmy HVD, and asked her to come on the podcast, and she was like, yeah, and then we could just never link up, and I was like texting with her and stuff, and we just never linked up, and then when she finally came on when I was in the studio, she goes, oh no, I wasn't going to come to your apartment. You're a fucking big dude from Florida.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, like, yeah, you said you lived with your girlfriend, but I don't fucking know.
Right.
And so, yeah, the studio definitely helps.
Yeah.
Especially in that situation. But tell us more about St. Patty's Day. And then I want to get, and then we have time. I want to get into the story about you and Tori matching.
Okay. No, we were just drunk. And so I've been Instagram.
When did you start drinking on St. Patty's Day?
When?
Yeah.
Oh, it was like 7 p.m.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't like an all-day thing.
Yeah, it's not like you woke up on Friday and we're like, all right, let's get hammered.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I didn't even want to drink, and she's like, let's drink. And then anytime someone wants to drink,
You're like, all right.
go. So then,
are you at a bar, at the apartment? What's going on?
yeah, we're at the Wayland in the East Village, classic bar. And then
This is what we call story building.
Yeah, there was laughter and cheers in the corner, music playing.
There you go.
I'm a narrator.
Now you're getting
it. And then so this girl I've been Instagramming, messaging a little bit.
How does that happen? Because I have yet to experience that.
Instagram messaging?
Yeah, like does she message you? Do you message her? Does she see one of your reels and go, "Oh, this is funny"? Like
usually
talk
it's
me
like
through it.
There's like
talk me through it.
Yo, I'm the wrong guy to ask. But usually it's like a good move is their story. They post it on a story and you comment on that.
Okay.
And then there's like a back and forth.
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
When Savannah and I were still dating, because I'm friends with I was raised by women, so I'm more comfortable around women. But like I'm friends with a lot of people. Like I comment on your guys' shit all the time, like
Right.
fire emoji or like fuck yeah. And I had a woman tell me, yeah, when you do that, it seems like you're like making a move.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm just like excited. Like, yeah, fuck yeah, you got shit going on. Like, I'm cheering for you. Like, I'm pulling. Like, comics have to stick together. Like, I'm excited when other comics have stuff going on. And then this woman turns to me and she goes, no, it looks like you're trying to fuck. And I was like, no.
Right.
So you're telling me that's the case. That's true.
I mean, but you're always gonna hear different things from different people. But
Yeah.
And I it's not like I have a lot of success with this, but I think if the DM when girls I've met through Instagram, which is like maybe 2 or 3, it like starts with a story.
Yeah.
I comment on it. There's the back and forth.
You're like, hey, what's up?
Yeah. And apparently, Elle was telling me the other day that a lot of people are now that's how they're meeting is through Instagram DMs.
Okay.
Like that's
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. And that like you can actually see how they are instead of like this curated version of them on Hinge.
Yeah, because then also you show up to the date on Hinge and you're like, that's you lied.
Yeah, that's what I worry. What girls meet me like you lied. You're actually gay. What the fuck? You hid that from me. No, I'm kidding. Shout out to all the men out there. I'm gonna fuck.
Bazunga jambalayas, baby.
Yeah, how could I be gay when I love my mom's breasts as much
right?
as I do? It sucks when you don't laugh, and then I just a creep. But anyway, I don't remember what I was saying. Anyway, this girl I've been messaging.
DMs, yeah,
bit.
you were DMing.
So I was like, hey,
you and Elle are out at the Wayland.
Yeah,
You're DMing this girl, and you're like, what are you doing for St. Patty's Day?
Yeah, Elle was going home, so I'm like, I still want to stay out. It was like midnight, so it's kind of late. And the girl's like, oh, I'm here. I'll meet you there. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And I get there, and I'm fucking annihilated, and she's not. And she's like, you're drunk. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it's St. Patty's Day.
Yeah. And she's
You're
like,
not?
you're so drunk. And I was like, yeah. She's like, this is too weird, and I'm going to go. And then she left. And then hasn't responded.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And I was
Because now
like,
you look like the guy with the problem.
yeah. And especially because the other time I've like met her in real life, I was the highest I've ever been. Do you know Max Fine?
Of course.
Little Max
Which
Fine.
one?
Young one.
Yeah.
So I was...
Both of them are friends of the show, but yeah.
Yeah, great
They've
guys.
both been on.
Both great guys. But young Max Fine gave me this joint.
I don't think Max Fine's going to like you calling the other Max Fine young Max Fine.
I mean, younger. Little Max Fine.
yeah.
I think that's what we call him.
No, that's what you said. That made sense.
Right.
Even though he's much taller.
Right. Is he? Yeah, he is. Anyway, I was the highest I've ever
6'3".
been. Ever. And I wanted to leave the bar. But it
Why
was,
were you high in the bar?
Well, because it was actually other Max Fine's birthday party.
Okay.
And I was so high and my phone died, and I wanted to leave. And I was like, Elle, can we leave? Like,
Are you always with Elle?
She's one of my best friends, so I'm with her a lot. And she's like, no, I want to stay. But I was so high, I was like afraid to leave by myself, which is so dumb. But I was just so high. And then, so that's the other time I met this girl who shall not be named. But
you don't want to dox her?
No, but so she just knows.
Is she pretty?
Yeah.
She fun?
Great.
Yeah.
Well, she's listening. I'm like, yeah, sorry for the mistake.
Well, no.
Horny as hell. No, I'm kidding.
Well, say it into the camera. Say sorry into the camera, and we'll clip
I'm
that.
so sorry for me being a hammered boy. Anyway, so yeah,
We'll clip that so you can send it to her.
I hope. Oh God, I shouldn't have talked about this. This is what happens on a podcast. I don't know what to say.
Especially mine. I am such a good host. I just get it out of you, man.
You pulled it out.
So you didn't.
But that's hey. Here's the thing. I don't even know if she would. My intentions were not. I just wanted to hang out.
Companionship. Yeah.
I was just like, oh, let's just hang out. But I don't know if she thought because I showed up hammered that she's like, oh, you just were looking to like bang
Booty
or something.
call,
I don't
yeah.
really know.
Can I be honest with you? That's something that I'm having a real hard time with in the dating scene. Because I've only been single for a short while, and they're people that like I've hung out with a few times, and they're like gone on dates with, and we're like dating, and we're seeing each other, and it's one of those things where sometimes I just want to hang out and like watch The Mandalorian or watch Ted Lasso or something, and then there's times where they're just like we gonna like what's going on, and I'm
they want an activity.
yeah, if you know what I mean, an activity,
make love.
yeah.
Yes.
But it's just
All 20 seconds.
It's just, I mean, I went on 3 or 4 dates where the woman would say, like, I went on, I think it was 3-second dates, and on all 3, they were like, when do you like make a move? Like, when do you like kiss?
Oh.
And for so many reasons, I'm not aggressive when it comes to move making.
Yeah.
Once the barrier is broken, I'm a lot better. Like once I finally decide.
Floodgates are open, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. But before
Semen. Okay. I'll stop. You're never going to have me on again.
No, of course I will, Van. I love having you on. But before that, like before the initial first kiss, I might as well be your gay best friend. Like I'm not.
Right.
And that's something I don't even do consciously. I just, being raised in the environment I was raised in, I just don't do that. Like,
but it's also, don't you think, a sober thing?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Times harder.
Yeah, it does make it harder. But even when I would drink, like I remember in college, like some of the other, and this is not going to speak great for the football program, but or for football players in general, but some of the other football players would be like, "Dude, that girl likes you. Like, make a move." And I go, "Well, I'm not sure. Like, I don't know. I'm not getting that read." And they go, "Fucking, you're a football player. Just fucking make the move. Trust me, she likes you." And I'm like, I don't think that's how that works. But so I've just never been like a make a move guy, because I always want it to be like the movies where you're walking and then she stops and turns and looks at you, and then you stop.
Raining.
Yeah, and then like you lock eyes and then you go in for the kiss. But that's not ever how it works.
No.
They want you to like as you're walking down the street, just be like, "Oh,
yeah."
And it's like, that's awkward and weird, and like I don't like that. And so it's just, to your point, this is a long-winded way to get to your point, though. But sometimes I don't want to bang. Like I just want someone to hang out with.
Right.
And it's nice to have someone that you would be, romantically attracted to hang out with, rather than just your boys, because then you can be, softer, talk about certain things that you wouldn't talk about with
right.
Billy and Julian. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, our feelings.
Yeah, that's a big thing. So you've ruined it with this one girl.
Yeah.
Obviously. Super high and super drunk, back to back.
Yeah, not good. But I'm like a nice drunk. I'm a happy drunk.
You're a sweet boy.
But I was like, dude, I was also, the other day I hosted a show. I had to host a show in the evening, and I was going to see a band in like midday, like at 1. And
what day is this on? Like a Saturday?
This is on a Sunday.
Okay.
And so I meet my buddy there, and then we start drinking, and I'm like, but I got to host at 9:30, and we're like, well, let's just fucking drink till then. And so,
so you weren't even like, we'll drink from like 1 to 4.
Well,
that
initially that was my plan.
Okay.
And but that's the thing. What I do is once I start drinking, I go. That's why I stop myself from drinking a lot of time, because otherwise I just keep going.
Yeah.
But by the time
we have a word for that,
Yeah, I know. I don't want to say it. So then I drank until 9:30 when I hosted, and I got up there.
Where was this at? Broadway?
An unnamed club.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's why it was at a club. So I'm like, I can't do this. I need to be professional.
Yeah.
Like, host this well, and actually killed it hosting.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you admit you were drunk?
No, but the thing is, because I was only doing crowd work. Then when I went to do bits, I could hear my voice slurring, but I couldn't control it.
Yeah.
So, but usually I've never been in that situation where I'm like conscious of the slur and I'm trying to control it and I can't do it. So then I just did crowd work. And it ended up being fine. It was like the great crowd.
Didn't
good
get in
night.
trouble?
Yeah, but after the next day, I was like, dude, what the fuck was I doing?
Yeah,
like that
that's
was so
risky.
stupid.
Well, it's one thing too, and we were talking about this on the Power of How, my other podcast with Matt Fulcheron and Daniel Torado. But it's one thing when you're at it. We were talking about comics at certain levels. So like, it's really interesting because at our level, it's. We have friends that are past at clubs, especially we have friends that are past at the, big clubs, and they'll still come to open mics because they're like, I can't try new shit at the big club because if I have one bad set, I'm out.
Right.
And then there's people who can just do whatever they want because they've earned that reputation and they've earned that respect. And it's the same thing, I think, with trying new bits as it is with like drinking or getting fucked up and then going on stage. There's certain comics who have earned the right to do that.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to tell them no because they have a draw. And even when they're fucked up, they're hilarious.
Yeah.
But then there are other comics where if they showed up drunk, you'd be like, the fuck out of here. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
And yeah, luckily it didn't go that way, but it easily could have. I could have
yeah.
bombed the show, and they're like, well, it's because you're fucking hammered.
Yeah, how about you never do that again?
Yeah.
I mean, that happens in all walks of life. It is interesting though because I've worked in restaurants for 20 years, and it's very interesting because there are certain restaurants that I worked at where I had ingratiated myself with them. So if I showed up drunk, they're kind of like, yeah, he's not too drunk. Like he's actually really good with his tables when he's drunk. Like you're having a good time. I'm like, so well, it's no big deal. And then there are other restaurants where I've worked at where I've showed up just like a little buzzed, and they're like, you're fired, and you're like, wait, I thought. Like, we work in a restaurant. Like, this is fine.
Yeah, we all do this.
Yeah.
Everyone's drunk.
So I guess that also depends on the club, too, because you could have some clubs where they don't care. And then some clubs where they're like, hey, we're trying to run a fucking professional business here.
Right. And I think I have worked there long enough where they're probably like, well, just don't let it happen again situation. But I just still, in this.
The fact that it eats away at you so much is
still,
I mean, that's good.
A while ago
that
too,
means that means you have the respect for what you're doing.
Right.
How many times have you shown up drunk on stage? Not at, just in general.
Oh,
like,
I've done a few mics, like a little.
Yeah,
buzz,
that's what I was gonna say.
That was the first time I've done like a show in front of real people drunk.
Oh, really?
And it was like it was hammered, like slurring. So that's also why I'm upset, because it wasn't like I'd practiced being a drunk comic.
Yeah, and it's not like you had like one or two beers. Like you had been drinking all day.
Yeah, 8 hours, dude.
God, that's so long.
I know. White Claws though. So.
Oh yeah. There's no laws with White Claws.
Those, right? Yeah. Is that what people say?
There's a comic who has that's one of his tags. So there's a guy who does comedy where that's one of his tags.
Right. Does.
See what I did there?
Yeah. Shout out.
I wanted to. Yeah, because I used to get on stage all the time hammered when I first started comedy.
Yeah.
I was fucking wasted all the time. I had to relearn how to do stand-up when I got sober.
Really?
Yeah, because I was so used to being drunk on stage all the time.
Right.
I actually I think this speaks a lot, like you and there's other comics that I know, and like, I mean, it's most of the comics, but being on stage sober, there's almost something vulnerable about it.
Right.
Because I know I've hung out with you when you've been drinking, like at the stand and stuff, and then I've also hung out with you when you're sober. And I think there's something so precious, I guess, something so like innocent about you getting on stage and being like, because you can like feel the stress and the anxiety and stuff, and I like that.
Yeah, people say that about me, but it's weird because inside I don't feel that. But people are like, "There's like something about you that I want to root for you on stage," and I'm like,
So you don't feel anxious when you're on stage. That's just
no. But now I mean,
because it comes across like a lot of your clips and your reels and stuff. It comes across almost like you're like
Yeah, I mean now I definitely play into it because I know it gets a laugh.
Yeah.
But I don't really generally I don't feel. Especially like at Broadway, I'm so comfortable. I'm not like if I bomb there so many times that I don't even care. But I think that's just like my demeanor. People just assume I'm nervous or something.
Yeah, because you have that demeanor when you're on stage.
Yeah.
So I couldn't imagine how you'd be if you were like a little drunk. You'd just be fucking letting it fly.
Right. Yeah, I don't even remember. So, also, but that also helps. Like when I like hit on a girl on stage, like with this demeanor, it gets a laugh because when I'm like, oh, what's up? We're gonna bang you or whatever. It's like an instant laugh because they're like, oh, that didn't fit with the personality. So,
but you actually mean it. You want to bang.
I mean, I never, not actually, but that's just like a save. If I'm bombing, I'll be like, I'm horny, and then people are like, they laugh at that for whatever reason. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Because they're like, yeah, obviously you're horny. Look at you.
Yeah, you can't get laid.
You have been laid before, though, right?
One time, it felt good.
Okay.
Yeah, I have sex sometimes. It feels good. It's real.
See, it's this. Exactly what you're doing right now.
I just went into a bit mode right there, on stage mode.
And that's why people are always cheering for you.
Yeah, as a joke, I go, I had a girlfriend once, she was real. And like everyone laughs at that. And then I'm like, it kind of hurts because you guys don't believe it. You know what I mean? But it's just whatever.
You just keep going with it. Like,
Yeah.
no, like, don't laugh. Like, this isn't a joke. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I had a real girlfriend.
She existed. And one time I was on
She just went to a different school.
did I have a clip where
That's the. I think I heard that.
Yeah, because I'm like, she has Instagram. I can show you. Then I went to do a bit. Someone was like, show the Instagram, and I was like, oh, the Insta. She went to a different school, and that was like the loudest laugh I've ever gotten.
Really?
Yeah. On the clip, you can't hear it as much, but I was like, oh, it was crazy.
Dude, that's so awesome.
Yeah, it was dope.
So, any other shenanigans you've been getting into lately? We came on, to full disclosure to the listeners, you came on no notes. You were just like, what did we talk about last time? And let's talk about something new.
Yeah.
And we almost filled the whole hour with nothing.
Yeah.
We
How long?
just-
Oh, there's a time right there.
Yeah. We're going to go to 105 just to make sure we get close to the hour.
Okay. Cool. What else? Wait, I had some notes.
Have you? Oh, okay. You did bring notes.
I guess I just.
Have you done any
contradicted.
illicit drugs lately? Cocaine, mushrooms, anything like that?
No.
Have you ever done cocaine?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You have? Well, you said, oh, yeah, like you've done it all the time.
I think my dad will be listening to this.
All right. Well, Mr. Lewis, cover your ears. So, Cody, let's talk about this.
Right. I've done it a few times back, a few years back.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the driving force behind that? You just wanted to try it?
Just like in college, my friends liked it or had it.
Okay. Well, that was the thing. And I think, I've obviously told this story before, but it was weird going from like, because I was straight edge through most of high school, not by choice, but I didn't have friends, so I didn't know like.
Okay, that got sad.
But hey, the scars come from somewhere. You know what I'm saying,
Yeah, I feel you.
baby?
I got nothing.
But so I was straight edge for a long time, and then I remember I started drinking my senior year, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. Like my anxiety went away. Like I love this.
Right.
And then it took a few more years for me to develop into an alcoholic, but I remember my freshman year getting to college, and I was playing college football, and I had met some friends, one of which I went to high school with, same graduating class, never knew her because I went to such a big high school. And so we ended up becoming fast friends because it's like, oh, we went to Spruce Creek together, you know,
Right.
go Hawks. And I remember she would do cocaine. And the first time I saw it, it was like a fucking movie scene.
Right.
I was like, so that's it? Like, that's what it is?
Yeah.
Like, that's the fucking, say hello to my little friend. Like, that's it right there?
Yeah.
And seeing it, I was like scared of it. I was so scared. And then fast
Yeah,
forward like 2 years, and I was like, well, let me just try it. Like, I'm not playing football anymore. I'm getting drunk all the time. Let me just try it. And I tried it, and I was like, I like this.
Yeah.
Like, I really like this because it would, like, I would get so drunk. At that point, I was an alcoholic, and I get so fucked up that I couldn't function. And then I, do a couple of zippity doo-dahs, and I'm fucking
you're
back
back.
out there. I'm back.
What I would always say about it too is like when you first start drinking, it's like every time you drink, it's the best night ever.
Yeah.
And then it gets to a point where sometimes you get, especially like in college, you would get drunk and you're like, this isn't that fun. And I always felt like the cocaine would like guarantee you have that fun night.
It was
Even
like a
if
safety net. Like, if
Yeah.
you're like, this is kind of fucking lame. Let's turn it up a notch.
Yeah.
Like Emerald. Bam.
Which is not a good way to look at it. And if anyone's never tried it, don't.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's horrible.
It's really bad.
We're winking at each other. No, it's but anyway, so that's why it was just like gets you going.
Yeah.
But because people have like the movie stereotype where they're like sucking lines and talking business.
Yeah, like
I mean,
grinding
I
their
guess
teeth. And that does happen, especially at my restaurant. And people go to the bathroom during business meetings constantly.
Yo, one time I was at the Standard Hotel.
Yeah. Oh, I'm in the Standard, yeah.
In Chelsea. And
Wait, why were you at the Standard?
because I used to go there to drink sometimes, but I was walking around.
You
the
would just
city.
go to the hotel bar of
No,
this,
there's a beer garden right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's like a poppin' place, but I was
Yeah,
actually
because the
just
Standard's a nice hotel.
yeah. But they have an awesome beer garden. It's like the frattish douchey place. But I was just walking by and I had to pee, so I was like, I'll go in there. And I go downstairs where the bathroom is, and there's a fucking line of like 20 guys, and I'm like, dude, the men's bathroom, I've never seen this. And they're all like, dude, the fucking urinal's open. And I go, and the urinals are open, and it's just fucking guys going 2 by 2
To do coke.
to do coke. But it was literally a line like out the door around
That's
the corner.
hilarious.
And I'm like, that's wild. And that's like, if you've been there, that's the crowd. It's all finance guys.
Yeah.
It's fucking Saturday midday. They're just fucking.
It's weird, the finance culture, because, us being artists and I hang around with a lot of creatives and stuff. I forget sometimes that New York is the finance capital of the world.
Right.
Because it's bananas. Like some of these guests we have in the restaurant or some people you see at comedy shows and you're like, why are you here? Like, this isn't for you.
Yeah.
Like, your
the
brain
city
doesn't work
itself,
this
right?
way. Like, well, yeah, like
Just comedy.
Just like, yeah, comedy. Because, I mean, obviously the city is built for them. I mean, the city was
Right.
designed for finance people. But, like, when I see them at shows, I look and I just go, like, you don't have a sense of humor. Like, you're not you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
you're a tool. You're literally not even like, oh, you're a tool bag. Like, you are literally a tool in the cog of this corporate machine to just generate wealth for yourself and others. Like, you don't understand what we're doing here.
Yeah.
So kindly leave.
Right.
That's what I think.
Right.
I would never say that, but it just blows my mind because I'm around so many like super creative, like just genius individuals. And then I see these like, fucking pump the numbers, dude, pump the numbers,
Yeah.
those guys. And it's like, ugh.
Right. I feel like in New York, I don't even really interact because like I live in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I mean, they're around, and then I do the comedy, so it's like
You never even, unless you're on a show that they're seeing, you don't really cross paths with them.
Yeah. So that's why even like when I think of New York and there's finance guys, people are like moved there to do finance.
Yeah.
Here to do finance.
People move here to do
I'm like,
finance, but we're not in those areas because that's
Right.
like downtown Wall Street.
Right,
And we're not.
yeah.
We don't go near those areas unless
Right.
we have to.
to
But
use the bathroom,
yeah, just to use the bathroom.
buy some cocaine in the stall. Yeah. Just kidding.
Do you have anything else? We got a couple minutes left. Do you have anything else in your notes you want to talk about?
No, should I say about Tori Cole match? What was her
Yeah,
side of the
we've
story?
got enough time. Let's do that one.
Okay, I'll just say real quick.
Good memory. I
We
forgot about
matched on Hinge.
Why?
Like, she
How?
liked she liked me, and so
Was this when you guys were both doing comedy? You knew each other?
Yeah, we knew each other, but I wasn't good friends with her yet.
Yeah.
So I was like, so she liked me, and so we're going back and forth, and I was like, it wasn't like we're friends enough, so I wanted to like.
You knew she did
establish-
comedy though?
Yeah. I knew. I like talked to her a few times.
Okay.
So yeah, when she matched me, I was like, oh, I see her all the time.
Yeah.
And but I just wanted to like establish, oh, this is not going anywhere.
You just want to bang.
No, I didn't even want to bang. She did it as a joke.
Oh, okay.
So she did it as a joke, but I thought maybe she actually wanted it.
Oh, I got it.
So then
So she thought, oh, this would be hilarious. Let me
Yeah.
match with Cody.
But then I got freaked out, and we were like going back and forth, and that just like little witty banter, and then
Yeah.
I was like, hey, just to be clear, we're just friends, or like said something
Yeah.
like that, and then she was
Unmatched.
like, yeah, no, she didn't match, but she actually did a joke on stage about that, like when I'm hosting, where she's like, well, I didn't want to have sex with you, and now I don't even want to be friends with you. Which is very funny, but yeah, because I just look like a dickhead. But I put myself in those situations before.
Yeah.
So I was like, want to be clear. I'm like, no, this is not. I don't want anything out of this. But then I just look like a.
There are
fuckhead.
some comics now that I never thought about it, but now that I'm single, I'm like,
Oh yeah.
What's up?
Oh, there's some out there.
well, and just some of the stuff they talk about on stage, it's like, I have a lot in common,
They like getting fucked, and you like fucking. That's yeah.
That is not what I said.
That's what
Don't
he
put
meant.
words in my mouth, but some of them talk about being littles.
Yeah, they're like, I like medium-sized cocks, and you're like, what? What did you say? Me? I have. Okay.
Plug everything one more time, Cody.
Okay, I got Hell Yeah Comedy. Just follow us. Come to our show. We do free shots. Super fun. On Cody Lewis Comedy on Instagram. I have a podcast coming out. Outstanding Individuals. And that's it. If I'm single. What's up?
Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. At Brennan T Comedy on all social media, BrennanTComedy.com. Keep your eyes out for the one-man show that'll be released on Patreon, and then a couple weeks later, we'll put that out for everybody on YouTube. Final edit coming soon, and then subscribe on Patreon, patreon.com/BrennanTassif. We'll talk to y'all next week.
Peace.